Hello Pisces, welcome to Ultra Instinct Tarot. My name is Andres and I will be taking care of you for this reading. So I will be using these 3 books as I really like the words that they say. And I'm just gonna grab 2 cards from each deck. I pre-shuffled them a little bit. And we'll see what wants to come out. So the whole goal for this channel is to channel our inner Goku, our inner Ultra Instinct. These 2. So we are just gonna go ahead and get started. Alright, we'll start with this one. Ooh, and it is the 4 of Wands. So in the Tree of Life, we're going to be talking about this circle here of the Wands, which is the fire side of us. Alright, the 4 of Wands. This is all about celebration, returning home, relaxation, and community. You can see they're super happy and celebrative. So following the Fool's triumph in the 3, she returns home to celebrate. So after going from the 3, we are celebrating crossing the abyss. She is welcomed by friends and family who are proud of her accomplishments. She has been successful. An important milestone was reached. There is comfort and familiarity here, and she feels supported. This card can also depict a wedding, a reunion, birthday, or another happy occasion shared with loved ones. So I'm feeling this is more about the reunion part than anything in that card. When you have accomplished in your professional, personal, or romantic life lately, can you rest, enjoy the sense of stability, and revel in your achievements? This card can also signal a homecoming. Where do you find your sense of home? What makes you feel at ease, safe, and secure? Can a sense of home help you accomplish your goals? So for now, there's a sense of returning home, returning to yourself. Ooh. And then we have the Tower card. So that's got to talk about this. So the home is being destroyed is what I'm getting now. This is what's happening to the home. The Tower. So this sense of stability is being destroyed for something else to come in. And this isn't a bad thing. It makes room for something better. Tower is about purification. So maybe when I said these words, you didn't feel like it was a situation that you were in now. So it's being purified so that you can actually have a good home to return to. And not just a weak home where you don't feel safe. When the Fool encounters the Tower, she must learn to accept that stagnant structures have to be dismantled so that what is broken can be purged and create the ground for something stronger. The Tower represents the purifying destruction of foundations and ideologies that are no longer productive. This is likely to be painful and chaotic, but necessary in order to clear the path. Yeah, that's all that needs to be read out of that one. So this home that you thought was a home had to be destroyed for an actual home to come in. This reminds me of Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender. And this scene.
You. Give me all your money.
What are you doing?
I'm mugging you.
With that stance?
What? What are you talking about? Just give me your money, old man!
With a poor stance, you are unbalanced and you can be easily knocked over. With a solid stance, you are a much more serious threat. Much better.
So in the scene, it's not that the tower is destructive, it's just that if the foundation is weak, you are going to be easily pushed over. So it's better to redo your foundation so that you have strong will for what's coming next, which is success. This is the six of wands. So we're right here in the middle where the sun is in beauty, and that deals with the fire again. So this is out of the OSHO Zen Tarot. And we're on the 6 of wands, or the 6 of fire, which is all about action. This character is obviously on top of the world right now, and the whole world is celebrating his success with a ticker tape parade. He's probably talking about the tower. I'm sure this tower was extremely difficult, but it's going to lead to success. Because of your willingness to accept the recent challenges of life, which is this tower, you are now, or you soon will be, enjoying a wonderful ride on the Tiger of Success. Welcome it, enjoy it, and share your joy with others, and remember that all bright parades have a beginning and an end. If you keep this in mind and squeeze every drop of juice out of the happiness you are experiencing now, you will be able to take the future as it comes without regrets. But don't be tempted to try to hold on to this abundant moment or coat it in plastic so that it lasts forever. The greatest wisdom to keep in mind with all the phenomena and the parade of your life, whether they be valleys or peaks, is that this too shall pass. Celebrate, yes, and keep on riding the tiger. Watch the waves in the ocean. The higher the wave goes, the deeper is the wake that follows it. One moment you are the wave, another moment you are the hollow wake that follows. Enjoy both. Don't get addicted to one. Don't say, I would always like to be on the peak. It is not possible. Simply see the fact that it is not possible. It has never happened and it will never happen. It is simply impossible, not in the nature of things. Then what to do? Enjoy the peak while it lasts, and then enjoy the valley when it comes. What is wrong with the valley? What is wrong with being low? It is a relaxation. A peak is an excitement, and nobody can exist continuously in an excitement. So this is life. This is to see the high, and then the low, and the high. It's also kind of showing a heartbeat, you know, ta-da, 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 ta-da. So I feel like it might be safe to go like this. Let's see what happens now. Oh, look at that morality. So you can also see these have been happy cards. Now these lower ones are a little more darker, which is what life should be. Because if everything was good all the time, we wouldn't know that we were in the good. You know, we need those bad moments to remind us of the bad too. So we know the bad, so that we can also appreciate the good when it is there. But then, you know, life would be boring if it was the same thing all the time, which is why change is nice. And things have to be destroyed for new things to come in. That way life isn't so boring. Morality is the Queen of Clouds, or the Queen of Swords. Morality has restricted all the juice and energy of life to the narrow confines of her mind. It can't flow there, so she really has become a dried-up old prune. Her whole manner is very proper and stiff and severe. She is always ready to see every situation as black and white, like the jewel she wears around her neck. The Queen of Clouds lurks in the minds of all of us who have been brought up with the rigid ideas of good and bad, sinful and virtuous, acceptable and unacceptable, moral and immoral. And so instead of seeing it that way, we gotta see it as just all is one. It's like a roller coaster, you know. A roller coaster wouldn't be fun if it was just straight like this. You know, a roller coaster is fun is because it goes up and down. It's important to remember that all these judgments of the mind are just products of our conditioning, and whether our judgments are applied to ourselves or to others, they keep us from experiencing the beauty and godliness that lies within. Only when we break through the cage of our conditioning and reach the truth of our own hearts can we begin to see life as it really is, which is exactly what's going on here. Life isn't, you know, just one thing. It's not summer all the time. It goes from summer to winter, you know, summer to fall, and then fall to winter, and winter to spring. Back to summer. The circle of life. Bodhidharma far transcends moralists, Puritans, so-called good people, do-gooders. He has touched the very rock bottom of the problem. Unless awareness rises in you, all your morality is bogus. All your culture is simply a thin layer which can be destroyed by anybody. Which is why this tower, you know, it's important to have this tower, especially if you have a weak, you know, foundation. It's better to make a stronger one. But once your morality has come out of your awareness, out of this strong foundation, not out of a certain discipline, then it is totally different matter. Then you will respond in every situation out of your awareness because you know what's going to be coming. And whatever you do will be good. So you don't see these moments as bad. They're all good because they're all necessary. Winter is just as necessary as summer. You know, all the leaves dying and all the trees and flowers is necessary for them to die too, so they can blossom again. It's fun. And whatever you do will be good. Awareness cannot do anything that is bad. That is the ultimate beauty of awareness, that anything that comes out of it is simply beautiful, just like winter. It's simply right, and without any effort and without any practice. So rather than cutting the leaves and the branches, cut the root. And to cut the root, there is no other method than a single method. The method of being alert, of being aware, of being conscious. So this is getting straight to the problem instead of, you know, dilly-dallying around the situation. Because nothing really ever gets done if you don't get straight down to the truth. Ooh. And now we have the Magus, which is also the magician. So after learning all of this out of life, it's your turn to create. And this will be coming out of the Thoth Tarot, Milo DuQuette's understanding of Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot. It's taking me a while to find the page. So it's taken a while for the Magus to appear. Magus of Power. The true self is the meaning of the true will. Know thyself through thy way. Calculate well the formula of thy way. Create freely, absorb joyously, divide intently, consolidate completely. Work thou omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, in and for eternity. So this is more about the being aware of what you're creating, of what is going on, and being okay with what is happening. Yeah, I think that something is being created here after all of this celebrations and distractions. Magus. So bring about skill, wisdom, elasticity, craft, creation. Sometimes a quote wisdom or power. Sometimes a quick impulse, a brainwave, may simply imply messages, business transaction, the interference of learning, or intelligence with the matter in hand. I think this is just learning the way of life. Interesting. Learning the ups and downs of life. We go from celebrations and having a home. You start at a home, and then that home needs to be torn down because it's probably not the true home. And then there's success because all of this is hard. Just these 2 steps is extremely difficult. So make sure you see how difficult it was and how well you're doing on this path. But don't be stuck on it after this one down, because there's more to come. And after you learn the Queen of Swords, back up to create from everything you've learned before. And even the first time you create, it might result in failure, but that's also gonna lead to something good. The 7 of discs, which is also the 7 of coins. We are down here after the sun. The 7 of discs. I think I'll read this. All things considered, things don't get better than this in the suit of discs. Oh, this is the 6. It doesn't get better than this pattern that is going on. Alright, now onto the right page. See, I failed, but I failed to go to the right page, but at the same time, it was a message that I needed to see, which is that things don't get better than this pattern that we see right now. Because if things were all good all the time, we would be like the penguins in the North Pole. It would just be waddling around because they don't have any predators, so there's nothing bad, that you can learn from. So if we didn't have any of these bad situations, any failures, any mistakes, then we wouldn't be where we are now. So this card presents an image of cold, stark beauty that I'm afraid is the best thing that can be said about it. Try as I may, I can't find one kind word from Crowley concerning failure. But honestly, have any of the 7s really thrilled us? We have to hand it to Lady Harris, which is the person that's been drawing the pictures for this deck. She did a marvelous job of setting 7 leading coins. They suggest bad money, Crowley explains, struck with the symbols of Saturn and Taurus in the world of dead and blackened vegetation. They form the geometric figure Rubos, which Crowley describes as the most ugly and menacing of the 16. One look at our formula tells us we are in for trouble. Netzach, the sphere of dreamy-eyed prima donna Venus, has, as Crowley puts it, its customary enfeebling effect, and cold, heavy Saturn and slow, earthy Taurus adds jackbooted insult to unimaginative injury. Crowley summarizes the dark imagery of the card. So the formula he's talking about is this 7 Netzach of discs, Isaiah, plus Saturn and Taurus is failure. There is no effort here, not even a dream. The stake has been thrown down and it has lost. That is, all labor itself is abandoned. Everything is sunk in sloth. When the 7 of discs shows up in a tarot reading, you better hope your question was, what's going to happen to my worst enemy? But this happens after you start first creating, It's just as this is my first video, my first creation. It could result in failure, but it's eventually going to go back to celebration. And then again, it'll eventually go down. And then eventually it'll bring success. So this is all about the pattern of life and being okay with good things and bad things happening. And that brings relaxation. Because you know bad things will come, but you know they're going to be necessary, and there's something that, you know, is taking you to a place that you gotta see. Because that's the life. That's the fun part of life. Alright, I'm going to end the reading with a little message from the Office Oracle deck. I think we'll bring out 2 cards as well, just to finish off what we've been talking about. Alright, the first one is Guten Franken. So see if all these, and it landed down here instead of up here. So all the bad things that happen in life, you could see them instead of just as a bad thing, as a prank, you know. You can see them as Guten Franken. They're good pranks. You know, you're not going to be, you know, smacked down like Dwight thought for a second that he was. But that, even though that's how it feels with all these cards, you feel like you're just being smacked around by the universe. But really, you're gonna be the one doing the whacking. And we have good old Pammy here. So look out, world, because old Pammy is getting what she wants. And don't call her Pammy. I don't know if I wrote anything else for this card. Yeah, this is about inner confidence. So as soon as you see how that is life, and all of these lows aren't really lows, they're just waves of life, Guten Pranks, and then you can create happily knowing that failures will come, but also success will come as well. So just channel your inner Pammy, be more honest, be confident, start telling people what you want directly. Be like Pam and say, look out, world, because old Pammy is getting what she wants. Except don't call her Pam. Cool. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.